Nigeria is the second largest producer of tomatoes in Africa after Egypt, and the 13th largest producer in the world. Ironically, Nigeria also spends 16 billion naira importing tomato pastes annually. This seeming mismatch in reality and logical expectation is due in part to a lot of post-harvest wastage and lack of adequate technology, proper storage facilities, and better practices to explore processing options. Of the 1.2 million tons of tomato produced annually in Nigeria, about 750,000 goes to waste due to poor distribution chains and channels, as well as lack of cold room storage, especially as tomatoes are prone to spoilage due to their high moisture content. Most of the tomatoes produced in Nigeria are usually only market-bound and end up unsold, spoiled, or thrown away. Those that have reached the full stage of ripeness are sometimes not transported to the market at all, so as to avoid incurring transportation costs for what will most likely rot in the time it takes to transport them and will end up being thrown away. In the tomato-producing state of Kano, Kaduna, and Katsina, local farmers have devised a way to mitigate losses from waste. A common practice is to spread the tomatoes out in the open under the sun, where they are dehydrated under the blistering heat and preserved. Sun-dried tomatoes are not peculiar to Nigeria alone. California and South Africa have a large market share in the sun-dried exports. What stands them apart is quality and safety. The local process is fraught with unhygienic processing conditions. Spreading the tomatoes directly on the sandy ground, with no health and safety procedures followed, the value of these otherwise profitable dehydrated tomatoes is greatly reduced. They end up selling them for next to nothing to local canteen owners and anyone who will take them. Introducing technology and teaching different ways of processing tomatoes can, however, turn headed for the bin produce into marketable, profitable, and perhaps export-ready produce. By simply introducing large metal sheet trays under the tomatoes to prevent contact with sand and dirt, and some cheesecloth above to guard against flies, insects, and other vermin, the sun-dried tomatoes become more hygienic and, as a result, more marketable. Where the tomatoes are laboriously hand-sliced before the drying process begins, an industrial food slicer can make this process more efficient and less tasking, which leads to increased productivity. The metal sheet trays can be fabricated from material readily available in Nigeria and can provide employment in various local government areas. Solutions. Governments can assist small, medium-scale farmers by encouraging them to form cooperatives. They can grant them single-digit interest loans to purchase tomato processing plants and machines so that all tomatoes not sold are accounted for and processed for profit. Inexpensive machinery here and there, pans to hold the tomato and sulfur to preserve moisture are all that are needed to put our sun-dried tomatoes at par with the rest of the world. This can be done by local governments and states in a very limited time.